Hey y'all, I'm Jen, and today I thought that I would go over some of my favorite things from the first quarter of 2019. I've seen some other people do videos like this, and I always love seeing what people are into and what they're reading and watching and things like that, so I thought I would share my favorites with you guys. Let's start with apps. I have a newfound secret for apps, and I'm super excited about it. It's actually library apps. I found out there's a sneaky little way you can get more library books than what the app is that your library actually promotes. Go ahead and download some of the other apps. I have downloaded Overdrive, Libby, Cloud Library, and Hoopla. All of these I have access to through my library system, but they don't advertise it. So try and download them anyway and look up your library and see if they're in there. There's different books in each of the different libraries, so you have access to even a ton more. There's your tip of the day. Let's get into TV and movies. I have been watching some really great TV lately. I have been marathoning a ton of Netflix shows. The first one is Tidying Up with Marie Kondo. I love her. I have loved the KonMari method since I read her book a long time ago. I can't even remember when I read it. So eye-opening, and I've been preaching it everywhere I go pretty much. So to see it in action on the show, it's just so refreshing and wonderful to see. I love that her method is not just purge and get rid of everything, like you shouldn't have anything. There is a certain mindset that goes with the sort of minimalist mindset, and that's fantastic. Some people it works really well for, but I tried to do it and it didn't work for me. There was different tugs that I just couldn't quite do it, and I actually started beating myself up for not being able to do it right. I ended up just backing away from it, and I couldn't figure out what to do next, and that's when I happened upon the KonMari method, and it's a game changer. If you're unsure about it and you haven't read the books, watch the TV show first because it's a lot more accessible and it's easier to understand when you get to see other people working it out. Then definitely go check out her books. She has two now. The first one is The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, and then the second one is Spark Joy, which goes a little deeper into it and gives you diagrams on like her folding methods and things like that. So it's a bit of a more deeper dive book. The second one, we just happened upon it because my husband and I were looking for a show to marathon, and we ended up watching The Great British Baking Show. And let me tell you, there is nothing better than watching a British meltdown. It's one of the best things ever. They blow up so politely. It's just fantastic. Another thing that I loved about it is the camaraderie of the show. Everyone is really working with each other and they're cheering each other on. So even though they're in competition, they're actually supporting each other, and you can see when some of them have finished and other people are running out of time, they'll go and help the other person. I just loved that sense of community that they had and trying to help each other to be better. Last one is my favorite. Queer Eye Season 3 came out. Oh my gosh, I had missed my boys. We blew through those too fast, and now I'm on a hangover. I just want more. I have to say, Anthony's my favorite, and he actually reminds me of a good friend of mine. So let me know in the comments below if you have watched Queer Eye, who's your favorite and why. I'm just curious. I love seeing different people's reactions to the different guys. The last one in the movies and TV category, I wonder if you can tell. Captain Marvel. Oh my gosh. I loved this movie so much. I have loved Brie Larson since The United States of Tara. She has been in so many of my fantasy casts that I do for my novels and things like that. And she was wonderful. The humor was fantastic. I love how they handled her character and how they just allowed her to be funny and witty and smart, and just they let her be all the characters that most women are not allowed to be. And I loved that they let her have that. And I love that she was that, and that she was portrayed as such, that she wasn't just a strong, one-dimensional female character. Everybody talks about the strong female character, and honestly, I think that can go out the freaking window, because if everybody only does strong female character as I am physically strong, that's pointless. There's so many other ways to be strong, and I love that they showed that in this movie. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out, and especially go check it out before you go see Endgame. I just got my tickets for that, and I don't know how I feel. I'm vacillating between super excited and crying. So those are my two emotions now. Okay, some stuff that I did this month that was super fun or really cool. One of them is we bought a house. That's why I'm in this other place now. This is my office, and it makes me so happy inside because I feel like I'm just so much more focused now because I have a designated space to do all of my creative things. So that's been fantastic. Another thing that happened this quarter is Briana Morgan started live writes on her channel. So she does writing sprints. It's like a live video broadcast through YouTube on her channel, and it's every other Tuesday. They'll put some information down below too, but you should go click the link, follow her, subscribe, and hit the bell because then it'll tell you when those live writes start. I get so much done during those sprints. It's amazing. I have moved leaps and bounds outside of what I would normally do by myself because there's such a community when we're getting on those live writes, and you know, we have the little chat window up and everything, and it's just so much fun and we get so much done and it's just fantastic. So join us next time. Okay, favorite books. Since I told you about the library app thing, I have a lot of books that I don't have physical copies of because I was reading them through our library's app. My first one is Herding Cats. This is a collection of cartoons by Sarah Scribbles, and oh my gosh, it was just so much fun and so freaking relatable. Oh my gosh, so definitely check that out. The next one I have on the list is The Last Wish of Sascha Kade by Shia. Now, besides the fact that Shia is an awesome person, she's an awesome author. This book gripped me so hard. It's about a girl whose best friend has cancer and ends up losing her battle. And that's not a spoiler or anything. That happens like in the first chapter. It's the aftermath of what happens after losing her best friend to cancer. I had to take breaks in between because I was crying so much, and it was just, oh my gosh, I love it. It was so wonderful, and you should definitely pick up a copy. My battery crapped out, so let's start that again. The next one I have is An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green. I was not expecting to like this book, to be honest. I was like, you know, it's Hank Green. I know him from YouTube, you know, from Vlogbrothers, but I'm also not a big sci-fi fan. It's not that I don't like the genre, I just haven't really read a whole lot into it, so I don't really know much about it, so it's just one of those sort of things. And honestly, if you're trying to get into sci-fi, this might be the book to use. It was just light enough on the sci-fi part. It takes like a deep dive into our culture of being famous and, you know, sudden celebrity and going viral and things like that, at how we consume as a culture, also what fame can do to us, how it can change anybody. And it was just a really fantastic book, so I would highly recommend it. Next, I have Furiously Happy by Jenny Lawson. This is another one that I wasn't really sure if I was gonna like, but I heard that it was really funny, and it also took a deep look into mental health issues and things like that. And I'm always game for that. I wanted to go ahead and check it out, and my library had the audiobook, so I thought, why not? It was actually read by the author, so I really like it when the memoir's audiobook is done by the author. You're really hearing their story with their voice. Memoirs for me are usually kind of just meh, but this one was so enrapturing. Jenny Lawson's life is just a constant minefield of ups and downs. The way she describes it in such a humorous way, but also not negating or deflecting what she's really going through. It was just incredibly refreshing to see. I just thought it was a fantastic book. And lastly, I read Two Dark Reigns by Kundera. This is one of those like sneaky sort of series. I read the first one and I was like, I'm okay with it. You know, it took me a while to get into it, but I went ahead and just stuck out with it. And then the second one, my library had the audiobook, so I thought I'd go ahead and join in on the second one. And the second one was even better. So I was like, oh, okay, maybe this is one of those ones that, you know, gets better with time sort of things. And then this third one, oh man, my gosh. Whew. We had the fourth one coming out in September. That is not fast enough. Let me just tell you, that is not fast enough. I need to know what happens. This is one of those really curious fantasy novels that is so different than anything that I've read, and I really enjoy that. So that's all I've got. My favorites for the first quarter of 2019. Let me know in the comments if you've seen or read or watched any of the stuff that I did and what you thought of it. Would any of these favorites your favorites too? Let me know. And again, remember, which is your favorite Queer Eye guy? In the comments, we can talk about it. I want to talk about it. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe in the buttons wherever they are. I'm not going to even try to guess anymore. And I'll see you next time. Bye! You can't do the audiobook version, obviously. Do the ebook version. There's no I don't even think an audiobook version exists. I don't even know why I'm talking about this. Let's continue on.